process to create a new 15-district congressional map has moved on from a bipartisan legislative committee to the Ohio Redistricting Commission, which held its first meeting earlier this week. The deadline for that panel to produce a map with bipartisan support is Friday. But as Statehouse correspondent Jo Ingles reports, the Republican-dominated panel of elected officials met but didn't come out with a map.
And to faithfully discharge
the
duties of the office
as
a member of the Ohio Redistricting Commission.
The tension at the first meeting of the Ohio Redistricting Commission was palpable as 7 members were sworn in, and it quickly became apparent that the Republican majority and the 2 Democrats on the panel had different ideas about what the rules should be.
At this time, I'd like to suggest we use Mason's Manual of Legislative Procedure, the 2020.
But Democrats wanted the board to adopt a different set of rules that included Mason's rules plus.
But what we wanted to add were some elements of how many meetings to have, and there were a couple of other items.
Items like to have a set number of public hearings or to have a quorum to call a meeting, rules that were in place by a previous Ohio Redistricting Commission meeting in 2022. Now, while 2 Democrats voted for Senate Minority Leader Nikki Antonio's proposal, majority Republicans voted to accept Representative Brian Stewart's motion to use Mason's rules. Then, later in the meeting,
I feel like this is the part in jeopardy where Alex Trebek comes in and says we have a small correction. The able lawyers have alerted me that actually pursuant to Article 11, Section 1B2A of the Ohio Constitution, we actually cannot adopt rules without at least 1 vote from the minority party. So having not gotten one of those votes, we are proceeding as a commission for now without rules.
Without rules and not without controversy. Audience members jeered as the commission meeting ended after just a half hour without a map that Republicans would consider. Antonio said majority Republicans are slow walking it.
I mean, we've all heard the rumors. We've all heard rumors about taking our congressional seats down from the 5 that the Democrats hold right now, taking them down to 2, taking them down to 3. We don't know.
Democrats proposed a map last month that would have likely yielded 8 Republican districts and 7 Democratic ones. The map currently in use has yielded 10 Republican seats and 5 Democratic ones in the last 2 elections. House Minority Leader Denny Isaacson said he thinks there's a reason why Republicans are not putting forward a map now.
And we know what happens if we let this run its course, because we've seen what has happened all over the country. That the party in charge, the majority party, has gone for broke. And in Ohio, what that would look like is a 13-2 map in a state that is much closer to 55-45 than anything else, Republican, Democrat. And so we cannot afford to let that happen.
But Stewart said the ball is in the Democrats' court to decide what deal they're willing or not willing to take. And he said GOP lawmakers are talking about a map, but are not ready to introduce it yet.
If there is a bill, a map that has enough support to pass, then that'll get introduced and we'll have a debate and take a look at it. But, we're not going to just, show all of our notes in public while you're trying to have discussions between legislative leaders about what they would and wouldn't support.
But Stewart did give some hints of congressional districts being talked about behind closed doors.
Well, I think that clearly the Toledo seat, the Akron seat, and the Cincinnati seat are probably the most hotly contested races generally. And I think that I don't think I'm giving away any secrets to political reporters that those are probably the seats that are most discussed when we're talking about whether there's going to be a deal.
Those seats are currently occupied by U.S. Representatives Marcy Kaptur, Amelia Sykes, and Greg Landsman, who are all Democrats. If the commission doesn't pass a map with bipartisan support by next Friday, Republican lawmakers can pass a 6-year map by November 30th without any Democratic votes. Jo Ingles, Statehouse News Bureau.